The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And when we left on Friday, I was having a tough day. I just didn't want to listen to any more of those negative waves. Had a lot of requests for this one, so we'll play it.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves? Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Well, we didn't want any more negative waves, so what did we do? Well, I guess we waited until noon until all those negative waves went away. Markets higher today. I have no idea when the post-mortem of this shutdown is set. There are going to be a lot of people scratching each other's heads. Each other's going to be scratching their heads and trying to figure out, since literally nothing changed between Friday and today in the deal, everything else was pretty much the same. So we'll find out what happened. And I think a lot of people, the market held up very well, and I think a lot of people are probably scratching their heads on that one too. But as soon as it looked like Saturday, late afternoon, Saturday night, the Trumpster decided to start leaking little bits of his plan for huge infrastructure spending. It is, I think you can find it on the internet now. Kind of interesting to see that the press isn't really covering it much at the moment, but a lot of people, I think some on Wall Street, kind of saying, you're enough with the negative waves. Let's get moving on and let's move forward. So I don't know if there's much more to say other than that. Somebody's saying it was a Mexican standoff. And that would be interesting. The good and the bad and the ugly at the very end, or was it for a few more dollars? I think it was for a few more dollars where Lee Van Cleef and who was the other guy? I'm trying to remember his name. And Clint Eastwood. It was Lee Van Cleef, all standing there looking at each other. But very interesting move out here. And, of course, like I said, if you were wondering why the market started kind of moving up, more and more as the morning went on, they were leaking all these big plans for huge infrastructure spending. And the thought was, well, I don't want to be the party pooper. We better get out of this while we can with as little damage as possible. And like I said, nothing really changed other than a little kabuki theater over the weekend, and now kind of seeing what's up for the next chapter in the Trump presidency, and that looks like a lot of spending. So we'll see. Maybe that spending is going to help gold move a little higher, although it kind of down on $1.20 or something. Not much happening on that. Crude's staying flat. This is options rollover from Friday, so you can always have a little bit of problems with that. But we came in this morning with monster buyouts and other things going on. We'll talk about that today. But that's it. Not a lot happening. Not a lot changed. Thinking that maybe someone thought the better thing to do was to retreat and just go back to where they were on Friday, and that was pretty much what happened. So we'll see if anything else went on. Just very interesting to see how right now a little bit of good news like that spending bill can support the S&P and the NASDAQ pretty much all weekend, like almost nothing ever happened. And my guess is this deal goes to February 8th. And my guess is that the reason that goes to February 8th is everybody's going to be getting some big paychecks starting on February 10th, and maybe just want to wipe any of that stuff off the news. Could it be that cold and calculating? Well, they are politicians, you know. So, but I don't think it matters. I don't think that they can hide this or the movement, and we're still looking. Everything in my book says that we're probably going to go sideways, maybe pull back a little bit tomorrow, come into Friday and set up the next big move that will kind of move us into February 10th or so, and we'll see about that. And that's about it. We're going to go to do a little bit of history, and then we'll get into some charts.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
What are we saying on checks on February 10th? We'll get into the news, and the history in just a second. The change in the withholdings starts for anybody getting a check after February 10th from the IRS. So yes, well, even not private, just private sector, everybody that gets a paycheck is going to see an average of $100 more in their paychecks starting on February 10th. So is there a reason to kind of target that date, maybe get some news in front of it? A lot of theories this weekend politically about why this was out here, maybe for coverage for the NSA bill that they signed over the weekend, which is pretty horrific. And, of course, finding out that our FBI was knee-deep in trying to move the election on who won. Now we're starting to see a lot of those things come out. A lot of really news that makes the swamp look pretty horrible. And the question is whether or not they're just doing these things to kind of rattle the keys over here and make everybody look left and right instead of what's going on. Missing memos, missing text, missing all kinds of stuff at the FBI. The ones we do have make it look like they were complicit, much more than the Russians, in trying to pick our next presidential candidate. And that's going to only get worse. So anyway, let's get into a little bit of history out here. On this day, why is this thing doing this? Let's change that date. There we go. On this day, same kind of thing happened with the IRS. True. On this day in 1984, Apple Computer broadcast their now famous 1984 commercial introducing the Macintosh. This, of course, was during the halftime in the Super Bowl. This is the first time people threw, huge amounts of cash at producing an ad. It only ran twice. Once during the Super Bowl and never again. It also had a famous director. We'll talk about this and then get into charts when we return to Power Trading Hour.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
On this day in 1984, Apple ran their first big ad. They spent some $800,000 to create this ad. They hired a famous director, Ridley Scott, fresh off his Alien fame, to run the ad. They had actually run it in December at 3 a.m. in a small market in Iowa, so that it would be they might be able to get a chance to run it in the awards that year for the best commercial. It won hands down. But this was kind of the start of really upping the game. Led to things like Miami Vice having, good music and great shots and spending cash, and not just the kind of horrible average TV shows that were on that were made to come out at a certain price. But this one kind of started a couple of years through the MTV generation. People weren't paying attention to just average commercials anymore. And of course, from then on, the game was on. Everybody wanted to have their big commercial for the Super Bowl. And what else can you say about it? Very interesting graphics. The ad only ran once, but like a great ad, these guys had it figured out. They got everybody and their dog to play the ad, and only had to play it once. This is before YouTube, where everybody could go find it somewhere else and start a little controversy. And, of course, back then, not that much to watch, too. Maybe you had cable, but certainly not streaming services. And everybody watching the Super Bowl. And it became a big success. And everybody's kind of tried to catch the lightning in a bottle that this ad had, but have not been able to since then. We've had some good years. But I have to say the last few years have been incredibly boring for Super Bowl commercials. Some of them are just weird, hit you on the head. But if you think about good, 1984 on this day. Other things going on. Again, like I said, a lot of conspiracy theories. Hard to actually figure out what's going on. We'll find out. But don't have much else to go on. So what else? We got a lot of stocks that gapped up. And not a lot of rhyme or reason on some of them. Some of them we know exactly why, big buyouts coming. But with a kind of a missing market, or not a huge move going into our open this morning from the Asian markets, Taiwan Semiconductor yet has another gap up, but not much juice so far today. We also had Lowe's pop up a little bit out here. Again, a lot of these 52-week highs, still no sign that we've got a top in it. My guess is you're going to see these things drop soon one day, and then they'll go back up here and try to make a retest. If that retest fails, that is where you'd want to pull the trigger short. Everybody that's pulled the trigger short up to now has been, you don't spit into the wind. What was that? You don't knock the hat off the old Lone Ranger. Oh, yeah, you don't mess around with Jim. That's what it was. So what else do we have out here? Handful of others, but let's go to earnings out here and good news. Pizza's doing well again. This one gapped up 6.5%, but it's only up to its resistance level. You wanted a lot of volume. You're not getting it on this one. 5 million shares on the way down on November 1st. You're back up into that with 1.6 million shares. So a lot of these things are kind of hit a wall going up higher. Schlumberger had earnings. It's up $3 plus, which is about 4% today. Gapped up a little higher. It's continued to go higher. Not a lot of juice either in this one so far today, but we want to watch how this one closes. BIVV, huge buyout, up 61% on this one. Talk about taking a leap into the stratosphere. I've never really dug deep into this one, but it's all about cancer drugs these days, and BIVV blew the lid up to $104 today. Another one in that cancer sector doing everything in the world to go higher is Juno. This thing was $45 and had a mountain of shorts in this one. Potential legal problems in Louisiana, and that's all gone away. You got a couple of huge gaps out here with huge volume. I didn't know enough about this to go back in, but looking at these things, you got to think, man, you don't want to be short biotechs right now. Another buyout from Friday, right after the bell, was Bungie. Actually, just before the bell, this thing ran up in the last few minutes of the day. And then another gap higher today, back up to its previous highs. So you got to watch these all. We're starting to see this kind of pattern late Friday, early Monday morning, where these deals are getting made. Some of these things are not going as far as you would think, but some are doing fairly well. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, as Rob has. Rob does not say where he is from, I don't think. Nope. And he's long TXN and wondering whether or not he should hold into earnings tomorrow night. I don't know where he's long. Nice comment about how my thoughts on IBM, if it was the one that was going to miss, it was going to be IBM. I just don't see the risk reward of holding through here. I don't see where they're going to get that much better. Maybe you got, 2 to 4% higher. You kind of got that below the same thing. And I don't like flipping quarters. So I would say, yeah, if you had your cash now, I'd go ahead and take it, wait for the earnings. Most you're going to give up is $1 or $2 to the upside, I suspect. Volume's not all that good today. I'd probably take my money. The big thing is you don't know how Netflix is going to do, and that's going to put a little bit of juice on it. Netflix, probably one of the hardest ones to call in recent history. The reason is they've done a huge amount of expansion into international markets. We have absolutely no read, and they've said absolutely nothing about it. But this is the quarter where those international markets could blow this thing up to 250 or 270 with a short interest in it, or we could see this thing back under 180 at the end of the night tonight. So for me, if you've got something that's in the sector, or in the tech sector, you might see some movement if Netflix really disappoints. And they had the same thing here in the United States when they were rapidly expanding. So it wouldn't be on the pale. I'm not saying that it changes the long-term trajectory of Netflix, but you've got a ton of people short, you've got a ton of people long. This one is probably going to have some action. I have absolutely no idea which way it's going to go because they haven't made any comments about all that cash they've been throwing at the foreign markets. So this one probably going to see some real action after the bell tonight on it. When we come back, we'll start looking some more. Go ahead and give me a call at 877-927-6648. It's been far too long since I've talked to all you wonderful tigers out there. 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. We're going to look at a lot of them. As I said, not anything a whole lot to say about Netflix other than the fact that, you know, we are in this earnings window. We'll look at a few of these. Did I cover everything that moved today? We got Juno, we got BIVV, we got Bungie. So I think that's it. I wanted to look at some earnings as we look at those. Okay, new things out here. Monday, of course, after the bell tonight, Netflix, Logitech, what's that take a look at that one. LOGI. This one's had quite a run. It's doing a nice job of consolidation. Retail PC sales are down a bit. So my guess is this thing may just go sideways. I don't see a lot in it. See what else is out here. We've got that. We've got a lot of stuff later tonight. So they're smaller companies. Tomorrow morning, we've got Johnson & Johnson. So let's take a quick look at that one. Okay, Johnson & Johnson, you're up here at highs. This is probably going to go higher or stay the same. I don't see a lot in that one that says it's worth the risk to go long, although it probably may go up a buck or two or so. What else do we have? Verizon, VZ. Okay. Also hanging around these highs, not a lot of juice today. Of course, earnings for this one, what? 7:30 in the morning. Johnson & Johnson's at 6:40. So by the time most of us get up to our trading computers, these numbers are going to be out. Okay. Anything in this one? Just a lot of consolidation going sideways. Not a lot of selling, not a lot of buying. So kind of hard to see anything's going on in that. See what we have after the bell tomorrow is Texas Instruments. We already covered that. Continental United. Oh, what a great deal. We got to look at DAL after this one because there's a great thing going on at Delta Airlines. See if they got any kind of movement in this one. And this one went right up to the resistance when it gapped down. And this thing gapped down, when is this? On the 19th of July, did so with 15.5 million shares, got into it with 4.5 million shares last week, and right back down. So it's up against resistance. Energy is pretty good. Higher fuel costs, so probably putting a little pale on that one. So probably goes sideways or a little down unless energy drops tomorrow or they have a big issue. Delta Airlines, this thing's just going sideways. But good news for fellow travelers. If you've been on the airlines the last few times and done anything, you've been inundated by people dragging their dogs onto airplanes as emotional support dogs as a way to get a free ride instead of pay for them to be in their kennel. Maybe 1 out of 100, I think, may be a valid use of bringing your dog along. Last time I was in there, I had 2 dogs get in a fight on my airline. So I'm looking forward to it. March 1st, no more of this hunky-punky stuff. You got to show paperwork. You got to give all kinds of stuff and sign some blood and everything else that your dog actually gets on there. If this doesn't hold, my guess is, or not my guess, my next move is to drag my emotional support turkey onto the airplane, and maybe my emotional support alligator and crocodile. We could have them go at it in first class. But man, I'm really kind of tired. Average daily dog flights now, almost 1,000 every day. Dogs get on as emotional support dogs. It's becoming a little tough for us folks, especially when you get that upgrade to first class. And what do you see? A little pit bull action out there in first class, as in my last flight that I took. I didn't get into it, I don't think, when I came back. Other stocks of interest. We got United Capital One. Let's take a look at that one. My emotional support python. Boy. Okay, Capital One, you broke through the highs. You did so. You had some juice. You gapped through it. You're kind of moving around up here. These financials look to me awful stretched. We did see a tick up in the, was it the 10-year? Did it get to 2.7 this morning? I was looking at it. I can't remember, but it seemed to me it got to a very interesting level. Let's take a quick look at the TLT. it certainly looked like there was something going on. This thing looks to me like it's consolidating in this 122 to 128 area. I suspect it will break. We're going to go back and retest one more time this 116 area on March 13th of last year. And, you know, kind of gap down, another gap down, a little bit of a reversal out here. This thing looks to me as we continually have more and more juice to the downside instead of juice to the upside in this. And so what does that mean for some of these financial stocks? Okay, another company coming up is Cree. So we'll be taking a look at that. That's 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This one's actually gotten a lot better. Got into trying to compete in the everyday light bulb world, and finally it got smacked. I was short it all the way down in either the daily, I can't even remember now, daily or weekly newsletter. So we got that big move. This thing has started to come back up. They're starting to figure out how to compete in specialty light bulbs, especially super high output that can't be knocked off instantly by Chinese LED light bulb business. But, you know, you can buy light bulbs with LEDs now as cheap as you can buy, or used to be as cheap as regular light bulbs that generate a lot of power. They may not last as long as everything else, but they use a whole lot less power, create a lot less heat. But where these guys are making money on these super high power flashlights and other uses of super high LED lighting, like in cars and other stuff, and they finally kind of gotten over that hump of trying to be the GE of light bulbs, and now concentrating on this stuff. Just a nice consolidation around this $36 level. I don't have any insight to what that means. I'd much rather play this one after the earnings call. So what else do we have? Just a ton of stuff. Wednesday morning we get into General Electric. Boy, I said last week that I thought that this thing was gone by springtime. They're going to have to try to vacuum whatever's left up in this company and put it back in the bottle and try to sell it pieces, parts. Abbott Labs Wednesday morning, ABT. Oh, going to break. Abbott Labs up 52-week highs on Friday. Still doing fairly good on this one. Energy's a little less in this last leg, really completing at ABC on the way up. Again, a lot of big signs out. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Well, we got a couple hundred S&P 500, NASDAQ 100 stocks coming out this week. So it's going to be big starting pretty much after tonight with Netflix, although tonight's fairly light. Tomorrow's a little warmer. Then we get into Wednesday morning, and this is where, we're going to have a ton of them. Royal Caribbean, this one kind of making those lower highs and lower lows, made a very tiny higher high last week back into this segment. The question is, these guys tend to go to heaven and hell for vacations. And the question is now, is this probably with the bad winter, these guys kind of go one more time and blow out the top? If I was going to say higher for one stock, this one, the early and tough winter, generally a pretty good push for this. But then, of course, these guys have been, I've talked to a lot of people that have gone on the cruises the last few months, all highly disappointed. And so we shall see how this does. My guess is this may be fattening up for a good short in the near future. We'll take a look at that. To Xilinx, another big one in the chip space, ZLNX. Take a quick look at this one. It has made a higher high. These SMHs certainly look incredibly tired. Not like they're going out of business, but just very tired. Xilinx did break through the previous November 7th high that had 3.22 million shares, did so with 2 million shares, rotated right back into the trading range. I'd kind of watch out for this one. I'd like to see this thing come back to light volume at about $72. We're going to see how Las Vegas is doing after the shooting and whether or not that really kept on. It doesn't act like it here, but earnings Wednesday morning, a nice pop higher and gap higher. So they're acting like nothing happened there. Please move along. To Nova Gold, 7:15 Wednesday night, F5 Networks, FFIV, after the bell Friday night. This one finally got back up to its gap down that was on March 29th of last year. Did so with 1.5 million shares. Got up with half the volume last Tuesday. Kind of just moving around a little bit lower today, and then moving slightly higher. But again, a lot of these stocks, have huge resistance levels, just slightly higher. make it hard for the rest of the people out here. So we had Union and Lamb Research, Xilinx, Teradyne, Discover Financial. Let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at this one for a while. You can give me a call. Okay, we got a couple of emails out here. Discover Financial. Again, this thing kind of broke higher. Man, this is kind of the worst of the bunch, right? Discover Financial. Man, if there's going to be a weak one, it's going to be Discover DFS. Just kind of going sideways here. My guess is this one goes back to 75. Question out here, is there any reason to buy 3D stocks? And the answer is yes. The question is whether or not these can get back down here for 3D. See, this is Sean. Sean doesn't say where he's from either. So he's from Lutz, Florida. Just let me know where you're from, because if I have two things that I can remember, but if I have just a first name or a last name or whatever, hard for me to remember who these folks are when I go back a week later and think about this stuff. November 15th, 792. You want this test of the low to come in. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons to come out and do this. In fact, I have another email here that asked why I thought that Bitcoin could come down to $200. And the answer is basically always the same. Or not $200, $2,000, excuse me. That is that there's a long history of these early adopting stocks that finally become good, getting down to about 10% of their highs. Amazon's the chief one that was trading out at a little over $100 in the dot-com bubble, came back to $10. Apple at one time was a $70 or $80 stock, came back down to $6 and I want to say 43 cents because I bought a little of it and sold it way too early in 2003. It ran back up to $8.50 fairly quickly. I got out. Worst trade ever. Made money and hated myself. You know, these things back down around $7. This was up fairly good, up to almost $100. So it's down in its range of 10% of its high. As long as these guys' financials look good, I don't see any reason why not. The real problem with 3D printing has been that they've used plastics, and those plastics aren't good enough for a lot of products. But they're now into a lot more in the way of what they called centered steel, which is kind of like steel powder. And then a laser heats it up and actually melts very small bits of it. But you can make fairly decent kind of long-term pops on these things that do very well. Let's take a look at it. SSYS. Come on, Mr. SSYS. There we go. You know, the nice consolidations. Now, SSYS has already given kind of a buy signal out here in that it tested the previous $19.56 low out here with 2 million shares with less than half, 788 on December 29th, and it's had its nice pop. Doesn't have much juice up here at the top. You may get one more run down here around this $19 or $20. My guess is these things are a second half of this year's story, but the charts are starting to look better and better. So we have another comment from the Peanut Gallery that says, firm support at 0 for Bitcoin. Hard to say. And a question out there to take a look at Nugget, NUGT, for a buy price. Yeah, this is kind of a tough place to buy this thing. I am, of course, been long since around December 10th or 12th of last, and I'm not getting off of it unless I'm going to have to see a very significant move in gold that would make me think that something has literally changed in the gold market. But, you know, if you're trying to get into it, I mean, you want to be in this thing at about $30.50. So you'd wait for another pullback. I don't know if you get it. My guess is, especially with some more of these spending bills starting to see the light of the day, it's going to be tough to see this. And basically, you got a sideways consolidation going on here around 32.50 or so, $33, and that's about it. Man, I hate chasing stocks, and I hate telling people to chase stocks of any kind, gold or not. You just need to figure out, if you get lucky, you're going to get a pullback down to that mid $30, $31 level, and there you can try to make a stand. But I'm in it for the long haul. I think this thing's got a year to go.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics, including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Achievers rise above the rest, and when they see an opportunity, they take action. Massive action. Achievers capitalize on every resource in order to experience success at its absolute max. And on Wednesday, January 31st, from 5 to 6 p.m., I'll share with subscribers of Mastering Probability how to achieve even more success with the extraordinary tools that I use to call the markets. These tools predicted the Ebola 2015 stock market bottom, the December 2017 gold bottom, and why subscribers added to their mining positions this month as well. Learn the pattern that projects the Dow's next upside target of 30,740. Folks, great moments were born from great opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity to take advantage of my 30-day money-back guarantee for Mastering Probability. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up today and reserve your spot for the ultimate subscriber event.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Did I close that? I could have closed it. I got a question in the den asking about Microsoft. Does this thing go to $100? I'm saying yeah. This thing has a good, it went into $90. It did so with volume. You got an 80% chance this goes to 100. I don't do 10% trades, but like we talked about this one for a while last week, it's got everything going for you. And my guess is you're going to go to 101. And my guess is you're going to see that by somewhere around February 10th or so. So might happen all at once, but my guess is the money's going to flood. This thing's going to run to 100, and it's going to do so fairly quickly. Again, probably a little back and forth between now and Friday. Then we get into fund buying, and I don't know what else you can say about that. Fund buying into the first couple of days of next week. You got everything going for you, and the checks coming in with a little bit more cash in everybody's paycheck. Hard to go against a wall of good news. And even the blink today by Congress on shutting the government down seems to have done nothing. We are in a wildly euphoric market. Just be very ready to yell and scream, I'm ready to go the other way. But I have no signs of it. There's nothing I can find. Again, I've got one sector, and that's the REITs that are showing weakness. Maybe that is a little bit of that interest rate jitters that we're seeing with the bonds today getting close to that 275 level. I think that's what it was. But my guess is that won't change anything. These guys have huge amounts of money coming back. The question is what Microsoft's going to do with it. Everything says Microsoft is probably doesn't need to throw more money at its business. So my guess is everybody's front-running Microsoft for dragging back $50 billion, maybe $100 billion worth of cash, and it going to shareholders. So look for a big one-time distribution in Microsoft. I think that's what everybody is looking at. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.